Good morning. This is Kumar Sharma from CSC Department, Nims Institute of Engineering Technology. Today I am going to deliver a short lecture on the concept of control statement that is available in any programming languages. I am taking today C programming example. So let's start from the introduction. In the programming language, we make some programs, and in the program the by default sequence of the execution is top to bottom and left to right. If we compile, if we run the program, that this sequence will be followed. But on the some certain situations we want to change the flow of control in any programming language, then a concept is available to do this programming that is known as control statements. Yes, why these statements are called control statements? Because these statements controls the by default flow of execution in the programming. So there are two type of control statements available. First is branching and second is looping. So I want to discuss in detail about the branching statements. Those are the part of the control statements. In branching statements, the name is taken from the branch. Branch means there are two different possibilities. We have to choose one possibility on the basis of some certain conditions. If condition is true, we will follow some path. If condition is false, we will follow a different path. So in the branching, there are two types of statements available. First is if and second is switch. Yes, if statements compare two different situations along with a different condition. So if statement comes with four different variations. First is simple if, second if else, third one is if else nested, and the last is if else ladder. So there are four different kind of if statements available in especially C programming language. So I am going to discuss now the simple if statement. There are three things. First is flowchart, second is the syntax, and third is the actual program which we can run and implement. So first is simple if. If we are having a simple condition, we have to take a decision based on that condition, that is known as simple if. The syntax is if condition, the executable part, and the rest of the statements. It is very simple, as the name indicates, simple if. So there is no any flow false part in this if condition. So the flow chart is like that. I am using diamond shape to denote condition. It is the entry part, and if this condition is true, we will execute these statements, otherwise we will follow the next thing, the remaining statements. Second, if else, the next statement I'm going to add a different part also, that is false part. This is true part, false. Yes, so in the if else, there are two different situations, there are two different paths. If the condition is true, we will follow true statements. If the condition is false, we will follow a different path, that is called false statement. After executing either true or false, we will go to the remaining statements. Yes, next is if else nested. We can also say if within if, that is called nested. It means there are two different if statements. First, condition 1, if this condition is true, we will again check a different condition. That is also condition number 2. This condition is true, we will execute these statements. If this condition is false, we will execute different statements. And suppose the condition number 1 is false, then we will follow these statements. So there are three different parts of the program. We will execute either one of them. right? The fourth and last is if else ladder. Nested if else and if else ladder, there is a very important difference between these two. We will compare them. In the if else nested, we will check second condition when our first condition is true, but opposite of that, we will check the next condition if the condition is false in if else ladder. So the flow chart will be like that. If the condition, it is I'm going to draw now the flow chart of if else ladder. So in the if else ladder, if condition 1 is false, this is false direction, we will check again a new condition. This is called condition number 2. If this condition is true, we will execute some part. Otherwise, if this condition is false, we will check again a new condition. So we will check condition 1, condition 2 and condition 3 and until all condition will be satisfied. So the shape of this flow chart is like a ladder. So this is called also if else ladder. So now I am going to complete my presentation. We have discussed all the 4 variations of if statement that is a part of control statements. Thank you very much.